Good morning. As you get older, you begin to notice things about yourself, physically and perhaps interiorly, that you recognize in your parents. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm turning into my mother, or oh my gosh, I'm turning into my father. Characteristics that we've inherited. My dad's mom died of a heart attack the night before I turned 26. And my dad also suffered from heart issues, experienced a heart attack in his life, and his nitroglycerin pills were never far from reach. These things, doctors will tell us, are also genetic, are also hereditary. Characteristics and gene connections and combinations which we inherit from our parents and grandparents and then continue to experience in our own lives. I too experience attacks of the heart. I'm a total softie. When I watch the news, when I read the paper, when I watch documentaries, and I pay attention to the way human beings interact with one another and the long-term effects that we experience because of our behaviors, I'm moved, often to tears. It's hard for me to see what we inflict on one another, and therefore what gets carried on into the future, long-term effects, often like hereditary traits. Doctors will talk about these hereditary traits, but we know that we also come from another being, not just my mom and dad do I inherit things from, but from the one who originally put me together, the God who created me, who dreamt of me, and placed all of my characteristics and traits within me to come to maturity and fruition as I age. So when I think about that, and I think about my attacks of the heart, my soft heart, I think to myself that that could possibly be something I inherited from God. Theologians will call it misericordia, mercy, or metanoia, a heart moved by need. These things are traits that are given to me by God. So, have you ever thought about how you are like God? What traits do you possess and utilize in your daily life, in connections with human beings, in business transactions, in long-range planning, in sitting at the bedside of someone who you love and know and is dying? What is that trait that you bring to humanity and make us richer for it? It's so easy and so American to believe that we've built ourselves, that we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, and that we have made ourselves the human beings that we are. But as believers, we know that's just not the whole picture. We know that God's the one that plants these gifts within us, and not just for ourselves, but for all of humanity to benefit. And so taking time to explore what God is giving off to us, what God is handing from God's very self, like an Olympic torch. Carry it into the world, Monique. Make a difference. Do something spectacular with the characteristics that I possess and that now you share with the world. I think it's worth exploring. I think it's worth paying attention to. What is it that God has placed within you? What have you inherited from the divine? And maybe spending some time today exploring that, giving gratitude for that, and awareness of that gift gives us a tremendous gift in return.